Welcome to Gems of Knowledge with your host, David Bellman and Justin Kroll. Each week, our experts will answer all of your jewelry questions with Rachel Putney, our social media maven, who will relay your questions to our experts. And now, here's your host, David Bellman.
Hi, I'm David Bellman, and welcome to another episode of Gems of Knowledge. Today, I have my good friend and host, Rachel. How you doing?
Great. How are you?
Good. And today, we are going to talk about celebrity jewelry. Lately, celebrities have been in the news for all types of jewelry. We're talking about the royal wedding, some boxers. We have a little interesting story about Merriweather and some jewelry he's been purchasing, and some more famous people that we'd like to show you what's been happening out there in celebrity world and some of the amazing pieces of jewelry that are out there, and a unique Rolex watch that was recently auctioned off that I think was just spectacular. Very, very rare, one-of-a-kind watch. So why don't you say we get started with the royal wedding? Should we go right to
Yes, definitely.
Meghan and all the fun stuff that she wore? All right. Here's the first shot. This is I guess this one shows two pieces, the tiara and the diamond stud earrings.
I mean, she's marrying into royalty, so you can't expect anything less than extravagant.
Yep.
That tiara is unbelievable.
I mean, I was listening to the news and it seemed like they spoke about that almost as much as they did anything else in the wedding.
I would die to wear something like that.
Wow.
I mean, what does it even? Do we even know how many carats that is?
They didn't, as far as what our research could find, we couldn't find any information about that exactly. But what we did find out is it is a Cartier piece.
And isn't it a family heirloom too?
Yes, that's been in their family for, I think, well over 100 years.
Wow.
In addition to the diamond stud earrings, which are also Cartier. And then, what was the other piece that she was wearing? Oh, the engagement ring, which we'll get to in a minute. But let's do the bracelet. The bracelet was spectacular. Getting a picture of that was very difficult. I don't know, Howard, if we can zoom in a little bit closer on that or not. But
And this is also Cartier.
It is a Cartier?
She was decked out in Cartier.
Yeah, it was... yeah, there we go. It's the only picture we could find, but at least it gives you an idea of the size and the scope of it. I mean, it has to be at least 20 carats of diamonds.
Oh, yeah. And she pulls it off so nicely.
It does look really well.
I mean,
really
it doesn't look overdone at all.
No, and that's the funny thing about it. You would think with a royal wedding, you'd expect to see a lot of, extravagant jewelry.
Like the Met Gala that we're going to get to.
Yeah, right. And everything was very tailored and very simple and very elegant. So, it all made history, and that's the fun part about it.
She looked absolutely stunning, which I wouldn't have expected anything less from her. She's a gorgeous girl, but all of her jewelry was just spectacular.
Right, well, let's take a look at her engagement ring. That has been in the news for a long time. And again, I didn't realize this until we researched it, but it's part of Princess Diana's jewelry collection.
So, yes, from what I've understood, I think it's the two side stones that were Princess Diana's, but not the center stone.
Really? That's interesting.
Yeah. And I was disappointed in this ring. I love it. It's gorgeous, but I just would have... I guess she's not a celebrity. She's royalty, and we have to remember that. They're not going to go crazy, but...
I would have thought the opposite. I mean, when Princess Diana's ring was pretty spectacular. It was a sapphire.
The sapphire, which
huge...
Kate Middleton has now.
Yeah, that's a pretty substantial ring.
But this ring also looks a lot smaller, but I'm pretty sure it's like a 3-carat diamond, which is not small.
Well, maybe she's
got
who
knows, but
big hands.
Maybe. But it does. She pulls this off, too. I mean, I love the simplicity of it.
Yeah, no, it is really nice. And I wonder what they ended up doing for a wedding band to go with it. I don't think...
I didn't see a wedding band.
Yeah.
And Kate Middleton does not wear a wedding band with her sapphire ring.
Yeah. Yep. No, absolutely. But really spectacular piece. A really spectacular piece.
Harry did very well picking that center stone out.
Well, he went with the round, so he went with brilliance.
No, it's cushion.
That's for sure.
It's cushion.
Yeah. What?
That center stone is cushion.
Okay, well, the picture doesn't do it justice.
I know.
But that was a cushion cut?
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. Well, that's popular right now, too. So there you go.
Yes.
All right. You ready to get into a Rolex watch?
Yeah, this baffles me.
It's a collectible. It's a one-of-a-kind, made once, still exists in mint condition.
Oh, yeah. I mean, but look at it.
Yeah.
I mean, it is so ugly.
Well, it happens to be, by the way, one of the most popular Rolex watches, the Daytona, which even today is the hot watch for guys. As a collector of Rolex watches, everybody who collects them wants to have a Daytona. And this is the second most ultimate Daytona watch because it has one unique aspect to it, which is all the other watches are self-winding, and this watch has to be manually wound. Doesn't sound like a big deal, but since they only...
But watch collectors understand that.
Yeah, and since they only made one, that's what makes it so rare.
So... Dave, how much did this sell for?
Well, I went up to $5.8 million, and then I got outbid at $5.9.
That was me.
Oh, that was you?
It was me.
See? So maybe it wasn't so bad. You got a good investment there. I'm sure
how
in 20 years...
crazy is that? $5.9 million for a Rolex.
Simple. You have to compare it to the Daytona that belonged to Paul Newman, which sold for $17 million. And it wasn't even one of a kind, I mean, other than the fact that it belonged to him. But that watch sold for $17 million. So this was only like the second most valuable Rolex next to that one.
I mean, I just picture the house I could have and the cars I could have for that price.
Well, you could, but chances are the person that bought it has a $100 million home.
They have, yeah, exactly. And this was just something to...
Something to keep in the jewelry box.
Yeah,
next to
probably not even wear it. Just
oh, no, you would never wear it.
You wouldn't. It's just sitting in a safe somewhere.
Absolutely, yeah. $17 million. You put one ding in it, and that's the end of it. All right. This one surprised
Mayweather.
me. Yeah, this surprised me, and it didn't surprise me. I mean, he's famous for buying crazy amounts of jewelry. But I guess his daughter turned 18. And you know how
18.
That goes. When you turned 18.
When I turned 18, I got kicked out of my parents' house. Just kidding. I didn't. But
no.
His daughter gets a 30-carat diamond.
Yeah. So this diamond, let's bring it up. This particular ring is what they call it. Well, they used to call it in the old days a canary diamond, but today we call it a fancy yellow. It is 30-carat fancy yellow diamond ring, set in platinum with another, I don't know how many, I forget how many carats, like another 10 or 15 carats in white diamonds.
Do we know what this cost?
No, they wouldn't. They didn't disclose a price, but you know, I tried to figure it out based on looking at the ring pictures that we had.
Yeah.
And I think it came out to around $700,000 or $800,000.
Oh, yeah.
You know, kind of like if you've got a good deal, which I assume he does, based on the amount of jewelry that he's buying. He's getting some good prices on this. And yeah, you get a little closer picture. Yeah, so you can see how rich the color is on a fancy yellow diamond like this. So this is like a gem quality, very, very high quality fancy yellow. And you know why he bought her a fancy yellow diamond?
No, there was a reason?
Oh, yeah, because all her other diamonds are white, and he wanted to give her something a little different this time. You know how it is when you're 18.
I mean, how dare you get your daughter a white diamond when she already has plenty?
How much was that?
We don't know.
I will
like say
$750,000.
I'm not the biggest fan of yellow diamonds. That's just my personal opinion. But this ring is gorgeous.
Yeah, and I'll tell you, when you see them in real life, these fancy yellow diamonds have a three-dimensional look to them. So when you look into the diamond, it's like 3D. It's like you're looking down in below the ring. It's a really cool effect, but it only happens with the fancy yellow diamonds.
Yeah.
So that's really cool.
Well, she's a very lucky daughter.
Yeah, make sure you get insurance on that, buddy, because I'll tell you, 18-year-olds aren't exactly that reliable. So this is cool. There was the big Met Gala. This was about, a month or two back in May when this happened. And it's when all the stars show up. And the theme was Heavenly Bodies.
This was my favorite theme of every Met Gala. I mean, the outfits and jewelry all of these celebrities wore was out of this world.
Yeah, they seem to it seems like they must have spent, or somebody did anyway, months figuring out what they're going to wear, right? And this particular piece, who's wearing this particular one? I can't even recognize her.
Oh, is that Priyanka?
Oh, Chopra?
I don't know. Yeah.
Yeah, it's Priyanka Chopra.
Yeah. Yeah.
Who cares who she is? I mean, look at what she's wearing.
Yeah, and these are all, believe it or not, they're not gemstones, by the way. They're, what kind of crystals?
Swarovski
crystals. But even so, the man hours that it must have taken to put all that together and to make it fluid and make it cloth-like so it hangs the way that it does must have taken months and months and months of very hard work, not to mention whoever designed it. I mean, it's spectacular design.
Oh, yeah. All of the labor that went into making that, and it had to fit her perfectly. I mean, it was probably perfectly tailored right around her.
Oh, yeah. No question about it. I think that she really put a lot of effort and time into making sure that piece really stood out.
And it did.
But Madonna, not to be shown up, comes up with an even, I think, more spectacular piece just because it's just so, I don't know, out of this world. Because this is solid gold and diamond, so this is no joke.
This
the thing
is
must weigh 50
no
pounds.
joke.
Yeah, I don't know
This
how
is no Swarovski crystal.
Yeah, let's, if we can zoom this one in, I think you can just see the level of detail, but talk about a crown. That's the kind of thing you thought you'd see at a royal wedding, right? Not at the Met Gala.
I know, so now it makes you wonder, like, which one is worth more?
Well, because for rarity, it's probably
the royal one.
The royal one.
Yeah.
But for amount of money and the number of diamonds and the amount of gold in this one, it was probably more expensive to make than the other one was. So, but I love it. I just think,
I wouldn't have expected anything other than something like that from Madonna. She killed it. She pulls anything off clearly. She could walk down the street in that, and no one would bat an eye.
Yeah, no, and she looks amazing as always.
She can walk down my street.
I'll let her know.
Thanks.
Yeah, next time she's in town. What was that address again, Howard? All right. We'll keep that one a secret. And then there's Jared, not to be outdone by the ladies. He shows up with a crown, which I've never seen a guy wear before, especially these days. But actually, the guy pulls it off, don't you think?
I mean, he looks like Jesus.
Oh, I knew he looked familiar.
Right?
No, actually, now that you mention it, he
right?
really
Like spitting image.
Did he do a Jesus movie? I don't know him from his work, but what is he? Do you know him?
Oh, God, I don't know.
Oh, okay. All right. I just want to make sure I'm not missing anything.
I don't have time to watch TV, Dave.
Movies. You must be a movie star. That crown was made by no other than Gucci, which, quite honestly, they've been out of the game for a long time.
So it's so funny you say that. They have been, and we picked up a Gucci set when we were at the Miami Antique Show, and I could not believe that it was Gucci. I forgot about Gucci.
Yeah. No, in fact, I read recently that they almost went out of business. I mean, they started kind of the whole branding thing, the clothes and jewelry and all of that, and then they kind of got overrun by everybody else who jumped on the bandwagon. And
they're making a little comeback.
I think they are. Well, with that piece,
with that piece, for sure.
That got them a lot of publicity, and I'm sure that's going to be helpful. And that's why they do these things. They make these things up just for these events, just to promote their brand.
Yeah, I'm sure. They're probably giving them to these celebrities for free.
Oh, yeah. No question about it.
Or at least I know there's a lot of the jewelers let them borrow it, not necessarily give it to them, but who knows?
Oh, I've heard stories, because I have friends that do it, in the jewelry industry. They have to pay them to wear it. And a lot of times, depending on how expensive the piece is, they have to pay them and they get to keep the piece. I mean, it's getting to the point where they're getting so much publicity, like on Instagram, for example. If they have, I think like the Kardashians have 60 million followers.
Oh, yeah.
So it's worth it to them to give them the piece just for them to take a picture and put it on their Instagram account of them wearing it.
Why don't you pay me yet to wear our jewelry?
When you get 60 million followers, which I know you're getting close, but it's got to be 60 million.
All right.
You will get to wear anything you want.
I will put that in writing, Dave.
And I'll call Gucci, because they'll be number 2 in line. They're going to want to put you out there also, because that affects a lot of people. It changes a lot of minds, and it gets a lot of publicity, and it's just absolutely amazing how they do it.
Oh, yeah.
And I think we have one last one, because this just came up, and we just added this today. This is Mariah Carey.
So she was engaged to James Packer.
Okay.
And they split up, and part of their agreement was that she was able to keep the ring.
Okay.
But she decided not to keep it for very long because she sold it to an LA jeweler for, I think, $2.1 million.
Any idea? Do we have any idea what he paid for it? Did they ever? I wonder if she.
No, but I know I believe it's a 35 carat diamond, which I always wonder if it's celebrity selling this ring
Yep.
for $2.1 million. Is this jeweler auctioning it off as Mariah Carey's ring and trying to get more, or are they going to take it apart and just...
Oh, no. Well, plus, it's a classic ring to begin with, so I don't think there's anything to take apart, really. It's a really good ring, like, the way it's designed. There's nothing crazy about it. And the other thing I like about it is you're absolutely right. In Hollywood, everybody wants to wear and have what celebrities have, but for a woman to get that ring and go around to all the parties in Hollywood and say, well, this used to be Mariah Carey's ring. I mean, that's worth a lot of money to be able to say that. So you better believe that's going to be a premium for that watch. And to me, honestly, I don't know what the color and clarity of the diamond is, but I think $2.1 million seems a little low to me, honestly.
Do you think so?
Yep, I do. So that's why I was wondering what he paid for. He may have paid $5 or $6 million. And took she sells it, takes a huge hit, but what does she care? Right, exactly. And somebody got, I think, a really good deal on that watch.
Oh, it's a ring. You keep saying watch.
Do I? I'm tired. But what happens is now, I just want that Daytona. What's going to happen is, I bet if you call that jeweler today, whoever bought it, and said, hey, I was kind of interested in that Mariah ring. How much you want to bet? It's $5 million.
I would love to find out what that sells for.
Well,
stay tuned. I'm sure it will come up at some point.
Well, if it names the jeweler who bought it, we'll call him up
I'll
and ask
find
him.
it. Yeah. I will find it.
All right. I want to know, did she make money or did she lose money? That's what we need to know. That's the question.
Who cares? She's
Mariah
fine.
Carey.
She's just fine. She's doing well.
Yeah.
Even if she did take a little bit of a loss. It's $2.1 million.
I know. Well, you know what? That was really interesting. I really enjoyed that. And I always love celebrity jewelry. Like I say, you never see these things. They're all kind of one of a kinds. I don't know if Madonna's going to wear that out again sometime, but I doubt it. She'll never wear it again. That's the funny thing about it. You'll never see her wear that
Never.
again. Nope. So they put $1 million or $2 million into it, millions of hours of labor. She wears it
for
once.
6 hours.
Yeah, she wears it, and then who wants it now? But it was a lot of fun, and we're going to be doing some more of these segments coming up in the future. And if you have any ideas for topics that you'd like to talk to us about, you can always reach us through Bellman Jewelers, and go to our website, bellmans.com, leave us a message, and we'd be happy to take your ideas into consideration and put some other interesting shows together. Sound good?
Absolutely.
All right. Well, thank you very much, and we will see you next week.